And I don't know who's running the federal government these days, Joe Biden or Prince John Prince John, but they're taxing us into poverty. Look.
Okay, now it might be easy to see Representative Lauren Boebert there talking about Prince John from Prince John and wondering why is she so confused about that? Well, I think it's actually fairly understandable. She's confused about it because there's no Prince John. I don't know what it is that she's talking about. It is definitely a thing on the right that whenever they try to invoke the UK, they don't get it quite right. I will remind you of Trump's tweet about meeting the Prince of Wales, not Wales, Wales. Like the big ones, which I love the idea that there would be princes of majestic animals, but that's not actually what exists. I could also be wrong, by the way. It is possible that Lauren Boebert, like with the QAnoners who think that JFK Jr. is gonna come back, or JFK himself, I don't even know, are gonna take over. Maybe she's referring to Prince John, fifth son of King George V, who died in 1919. Or they'd have you believe maybe he's gonna be coming back. But anyway, she's trying to criticize Biden, and we don't necessarily always elect the smartest, sharpest people. Jordan, I think she's doing the best that she can. What do you think?
I mean, that's generous.
I mean, I'm trying to be nice.
It is. You are. I said that's generous. Like her and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Paul Gosar and like these figures popping up in state legislatures around the country are embracing this fringe style of politics that really, like we talked about earlier, just play on people's animus toward the other, right? People who are outside of their political group and have had their brains like just totally fried by social media, by TV, by conspiracy theories. And that informs their talking points, their worldview, and ultimately their political stances. There's an element of partisanship in it, but like they are totally off their rockers. Saying she's doing her best is a very generous way of describing someone who is just ultimately out there to just be a contrarian, to trigger the libs. And you saw her behavior in the State of the Union. They're out for attention. That's it. And they, you can fundraise off of it. Like Wendy Rogers, I could plug a Rebel HQ video I have coming out either today or tomorrow on Wendy Rogers. She raised nearly $2.5 million last year, and that is the second most in all of Arizona politics, and more than gubernatorial candidates. Yes, Rebel HQ, tune in for more. But she did so on the backs of these like bizarre, hateful viewpoints and stances. It's sadly a viable political strategy that's being rewarded more and more by fringe voters and fringe political consumers in this country.
Yeah, wow. And Wendy Rogers is like a legitimate crazy person, like arguably crazier than a Lauren Boebert. People in the chat are bringing up that she tweeted out photos of Prince John. Like not only is she referring to like Prince John from Robin Hood, but specifically the cartoon one. Yeah, I get that. You get to do your thing where you try to be a part of the joke or whatever. Okay, do that. But anyway, is there something to what she's saying? I think in her continued commentary, there's a little bit that I think she's not 100% wrong on. But first, she went on to say, look, gas prices are higher than Jerry Nadler's pants right now. And Jesus, and the federal government is making it worse with their 18 cents per gallon tax and additional regulations like the ethanol mandate that adds nearly 20 cents per gallon of gas. People are going to have to start calling JG Wentworth just to get a loan to fill up the tank. I don't get her references. I don't understand at all what the point of any of this is. The 18 cents per gallon. If your issue is that gas is $4.50, the 18 cents is hardly a massive portion of that. But national gas prices are really high. As of yesterday, they were 72 cents higher than they were 1 month previously. The issue is that while she is rightly pointing out that the gas prices are going up, she's opposing things like the banning of Russian fossil fuel imports, which according to the most recent polls, 79% of Americans support. 77% of Republicans support them. 72% of Republicans who say they will back Mr. Trump in 2024 support the ban. So that seems like a bit of a losing battle. She does point out though, Biden's troubles with, for instance, speaking to Middle Eastern leaders like in Saudi Arabia and the UAE, which there's been great reporting on by people like Ken Klippenstein. So we're gonna put up a couple of his headlines. You should definitely take a look at those. But Jordan, what do you think about this fight over the gas prices and what should be done?
if they are concerned about spending too much at the tank, why are you, or at the pump rather, why are you driving a giant truck? Why are you driving a giant SUV, which has become, kind of core to the the prototypical Republican identity for years? Like the gas guzzlers was something that they embraced. Well, there's a risk associated with that. They mock people who drive hybrids or electric cars. So it's like, okay, you're getting what you wanted, but also Trump killed Obama's initiative to heighten fuel efficiency standards, and they cheered that on. Okay, you're getting what you wanted. Like you have a car that has fewer miles per gallon than what the Democrat alternative, but because you will never side with the Democrat, this is what you get. Congrats.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's the rolling coal thing, but as like an overall approach to politics. It's as you said before, it's about owning the libs even if it owns yourself. Own the libs even if it owns your pocketbook. I don't think it makes much sense, but they've got entire media infrastructure, and now effectively the same people who would be on Fox News are now Congress people effectively, and it's been very effective against them.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.